Anthony Frost. I am a fine arts major planning on going into product design for furniture design. In this paper, I defend Hume's idea of compatibilism. Hume's idea of compatibilism suggests that determinism, the idea that all actions have a cause, and moral responsibility are not mutually exclusive. Actions reflect personal agency within deterministic structures, preserving accountability. The debate over compatibilism examines whether determinism, the idea that all actions have causes, and free will can coexist. Hume argues that necessity, or determinism, is not a barrier to moral responsibility, rather, it provides a structure for ethical evaluation. He emphasizes that human actions follow predictable causal patterns, but intent and personal agency remain key to accountability. Whereas Reed argues that true moral accountability determines full autonomy, free from deterministic patterns. He also proposes agent causation, which suggests that free actions must originate solely within the individual, independent from external influences. This debate highlights a fundamental question: can structured causality preserve the freedom and intent necessary for moral responsibility? Reed feels necessity undermines agency, whereas Hume sees it as an essential for evaluating actions meaningfully. My argument builds on Hume's distinction between internal and external necessity. While internal necessity involves motives, beliefs, and desires driving our actions, which reflect our personal agency, whereas external necessity is influenced by external forces that shape our behavior without eliminating responsibility. By focusing on internal necessity, we see how intent and structured decision making preserve accountability within deterministic systems. Hume provides a compelling framework that balances causality with agency. One potential challenge to this view, though, is that internal necessity itself might be influenced by external deterministic factors, undermining the idea of genuine agency. Some critics could argue that if all motives arise from necessity, then moral responsibility can become questionable. To address this concern, while motives are shaped with deterministic systems, intent remains central. Hume emphasizes that structured choices informed by character and reasoning preserve accountability, and necessity doesn't negate agency, it provides the clarity needed for ethical evaluation. This is why moral responsibility is still meaningful even within casually determined frameworks. In Hume's defense, compatibilism demonstrates that necessity, moral accountability, rather than undermines it by focusing on intent and structural choices within deterministic systems. He provides a compelling framework for understanding human agency and responsibility, where Lee's objection push us to critically examine the extent to which it casually affects freedom, sparking deeper philosophical inquiry. My reflection on this, and what I found particularly fascinating about Hume's compatibilism, is its applicability beyond abstract philosophy. It challenges us to rethink modern notions of justice, punishment, and ethical evaluations. Deterministic systems shape societal norms, but the role of intent and structured accountability offer a fresh lens to examine how we judge actions and assign responsibility. Reed emphasizes on agent causation raised valid questions about autonomy. But Hume's focus on structural causality and internal necessity provides a more nuanced view of agency. Some further exploration, and what I'm curious about, is how cultural and historical context might reinterpret Hume's ideas. Do other frameworks balance determinism and accountability differently? and the implications for real-world ethics and legal systems are particularly intriguing. Could Hume's idea of compatibilism inspire and reform on how we assess accountability in laws and policies? In addition, I find inspiration in how necessity gives structure to moral evaluation. It is a reminder that freedom isn't about chaos, it's about intentional choices within meaningful frameworks. This is my Works Cited page. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Thank you for your time in listening, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.